In the 25th century, tactical strategy and military engagements largely revolve around the utilization of larger starships, with shuttles and fighters being rarely used. Due to the entirety of the Alpha and Beta Quadrant being a war zone, starships are widely considered the safer option, as traveling in a shuttle can be extremely dangerous. Though, in the 25th century, there would be the creation of a limited number of carriers that have starfighter support, possibly showing that this trend is changing. Even with this advancement, though, strike forces involving only starfighters is largely unheard of, even in this century. It is ironic, though, that the glut of society and the numbing of captains to death would mean that these same captains would order pilots into starfighters and then force them to follow the main ship around. Some of these sick individuals would call the starfighters pets, forcing them to be there during engagements or just when they're going to new planets. Because I want to make a video that's longer than 60 seconds, I'll be breaking down all of the Federation Starfleet fighters and shuttles, so let's just get into it. The captain's yacht is a specialized shuttle generally utilized by, wait for it, the captain. It is often in service to entertain dignitaries or for missions when the captain is needed, though most captains generally just use regular shuttles, making it needless. A lot of these types of shuttles were actually built into the main vessel and can separate from it. The shuttle is specially outfitted with consoles, allowing for one tactical officer, one engineering, and one science. It would have 2 weapons fore and no weapons aft. The vessel could also add emergency power to shields, making it harder to destroy. The Denami-class Runabout, also known as just a runabout, saw wide-scale use in the 24th century right before the Dominion Cold War, and was operational well after the actual Dominion War itself. While the vessel historically could single-handedly kill Jem'Hadar warships, the runabouts of the 25th century appear to be much weaker. The vessel has multiple models, making the alloys and metals look different depending on when you receive the vessel. Additionally, there is the Runabout Mark I, which has no roll bar, and the Runabout Mark II with a roll bar being added, though it doesn't appear to add any specific advantage. The Runabout has 3 consoles, including 1 tactical, 1 science, and 1 engineering. The vessel has 2 weapons fore, and none of them are aft. However, it would also have the ability to utilize the tractor beam, which apparently is a rare thing for shuttles in the 25th century, so that's weird. As Starfleet continues to betray all it ever stood for, or maybe the admirals are just being honest about it now, Starfleet has authorized for captains to obtain the Mirror Universe version of the Denami-class Runabout. This is technically a fighter and would generally be the same as the original Runabout, but it does have 2 consoles for tactical and 1 for engineering, with no science consoles. Ironically, it doesn't appear that Starfleet allows the use of any other Mirror Universe vessels, just the weakest one you can find. Due to the glut of society and a rise in the need for Starfleet officers to self-harm, the Class F shuttle is a 23rd century vessel that is still available today. The shuttle makes no sense why it's in service, especially given how powerful other equivalents are. However, the systems would be updated to the most current and available that the chassis would allow, and then it would send out to be exploded. To be fair though, it does explode 10% less than your standard Oberth. It would have 3 specialty consoles, including 1 tactical, 1 engineering, and 1 science, with 2 weapons fore. I bet you can guess how many it has aft. None. None is the answer. The Delta-class shuttle, originally conceived by Tom Paris, was one of the most agile and powerful starfighters the Delta and Alpha quadrants had ever seen. The one now being mass-produced by Starfleet in the 25th century carries none of these treats, with only 2 weapons fore and none aft. It would have a universal console, allowing for the use of any system, and a science console, because as we all know, Tom Paris was a huge scientist. The ship would also have a Riemann variant, which I don't know why. Single-handedly convincing me that being pro-choice is the moral option, the Federation shuttle, yeah, that's what it's called, is a cash grab and makes no sense. It made no sense when we saw it on Discovery, and now they're reusing it in the 25th century. Even though you have runabouts, which look somewhat like it and are better suited for the missions. The shuttle would have a universal console, allowing for any specialty to be used, with 2 weapons fore and none aft. A starfighter that served in limited capacity in the Dominion War, the Peregrine attack fighter is the most widely known starfighter in Federation service. The ship has advanced weapons, a universal console allowing for any specialty officer, and 2 weapons fore. Additionally, the vessel can utilize cannon rapid fire, allowing it to have more powerful impact with its weapons. The Talpaur support craft is a shuttle that is known for generally supporting the Vulcan militia. The ship has the ability to analyze enemies to allow other vessels to strategically attack them. The computer systems can also help coordinate repairs on friendly vessels. The ship has 1 engineering specialty console and 2 science. Additionally, it has 2 weapons fore, with none of them being aft. The vessel is also one of the very few that can be modified to look like earlier 22nd century ships, because of course it can be modified. The Type 7 shuttle is the first conceived in the early 24th century and has been updated for operations in the 25th century. The vessel would have 2 specialty consoles, including 1 tactical and 2 engineering. I'm getting tired of saying this, but it does have 2 weapons. Those weapons are 4 of it, and not aft. The Type 8 shuttle is a short-range craft having less powerful shields for absolutely no trade-off. It's just an inferior ship that no one should ever use. The shuttle does have 2 weapons that are in the fore, with none being aft, and it can have 1 engineering console. I have no idea why this thing is still in service. The Type 10 shuttlecraft is a standard 24th century vessel with 2 weapons fore, none aft. It can have 1 tactical, 1 engineering, and 1 science. Additionally, the vessel can reroute power to its engines because the thing was made in France. And finally, the Yellowstone class Runabout, the only shuttle I think Starfleet actually cares about. This vessel, looking like a Starfleet starship had a baby with a transformer, is one of the most powerful shuttles in the game, having the ability to not only tractor beam and tow things, but also eject Tetrion plasma, which can slow down or knock out the engines of enemy vessels. It also has the ability to make starships' warp cores more powerful. One wonders why this thing has to be purchased in order to be used. It would have 2 weapons fore and none aft, with a tactical specialty console, engineering specialty console, and science. All the shuttles would additionally have some room so that engineers and scientists could add 1 to 2 pieces of experimental equipment. Ultimately, I have to be honest, the shuttles and starfighters of this universe are utterly pointless. They somehow took starfighters being pointless in DS9, TNG, and all the others and made it more useless. It's quite an achievement. But all of these are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below.